Hey, it's your local holistic nutrition gal, Luca here, just jumping on because right? Do I even need to say it? It feels like what I'm hearing from quite a few clients, especially in this last week, are people reaching out, feeling symptoms are riding high, anxiety and worries seem to be taking over, and this sense of overwhelm is very much a part of the picture. And this feeling of loss of way to move forward and unsure of how to take this next step or what the next step entails. But more than that, sort of feeling. And I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, the sense that I'm getting from quite a few clients and friends, this is like people I'm talking to, is that there's a wildness going on, particularly heightened wildness is what it feels like. And this, not sure how to move through this and reaching out for help and support, for which I'm going to tell you 1,000,000%, I'm here. If you need to chat, hit me up. If we need to book in an appointment, hit me up. I've created extra spots outside of my regular schedule for people this week, because I've heard from so many of the holy Toledo, what's going on right now, sort of feelings. Of course, that's my interpretation of what I'm hearing. And it is my own feelings infused into it because I feel the same. And I was just thinking about it as I just wrapped up a call with a lovely client. I was thinking how, what if it's this? What if we are feeling the wildness because we are waking up to the fact that something's not right? You know, if you think of in nature right now at this time, like I'm recording this, on December 20th, I think it is today. This is the time of year. If you look at other animals and other ways that animals and people who are animals, by the way, we're animals, how living beings have moved through this season. How have they done it in the past? How do they continue to do it? If you look at the trees, if you look at the plants, if you look at even just your outdoor garden, the perennials around your home, the trees that are on your property or at the park down the street, what's going on over there? What's happening? Think of the energetics. What are they doing? The life has gone into the roots. The life force and the energy has gone into the roots and is laying under the surface and staying low key. What are animals doing right now? What are bears doing right now? They are probably the best known hibernating animal out there. They're doing just that. They're hibernating. They're taking it easy. Today's the solstice day. So now we're shifting, as of 11 a.m. this morning, we are shifting from going away from the sun and getting darker to now we're starting to bring in more light. What if the anxiety, the worries, the heightened emotions, the wildness that we're feeling right now is actually because we are waking up to the fact that there is something that is not aligning well? What are the demands on our time? You know, here where I am in North America, there is this like, okay, we need to pack our days and people have days off. Let's go do things. Let's go skating. We got to go skiing. We got to make sure we go sledding. Let's go bring treats to the neighbors. Let's make sure our fridges are full with things. We got to send a thank you note. We got to send Christmas cards. Okay, we got to add it on and on and on. People are coming over for dinner. Oh no, we can't see people for dinner. Oh, now I don't know. Rules, schmools. I'm not saying don't listen to the rules. I'm not saying listen to the rules. I'm not weighing in on that subject at all. I'm only highlighting the fact that for the last 50 years, 40 years, the message has been, at this time of year, humans, pack it in, do more, be grateful, do this, you haven't done this enough, shame on you, blah, all of these pieces of you should be, if you're a good human, only if. And what if the anxiety, the heightened emotions, the wildness that you're really feeling keenly that is not sitting comfortably this year more than any other year is because you've woken up to the fact that these demands at this time of year are incongruous with what nature is asking of us. Do you know what nature is asking of us at this time of year? She's asking you to stop. She's asking you to rest. The light is at its dimmest and the shortest day of the year. Traditionally, people would have had candles to help them through the evening, or lanterns they would have fashioned from candles before the advent of electricity. And you would have been like everybody else, going to bed an hour after the sundown because you only had so many candles to last you through the winter. And you're tired. Why don't you just go to bed? What else are you going to do? Well, maybe you're going to dance with your sweetheart. I'm okay with that. But this is the time of year where really traditionally we would have, of course we would have celebrated in whichever culture that you are a part of, you would have celebrated the dimming of the natural light outside with a way to light that light from within. So in my Irish, French, Canadian upbringing, there was a lot around the church and around Christmas. So of course there is the light that comes with that, and the candle lighting and the Advent and all of those pieces. For my lovely Auntie Jean, as we used to call her, she was Jewish and she was a big part of our family. So for Jean, we also celebrated Hanukkah every year, and the lighting of the menorah and all of those pieces that she brought to our family because she was so involved in our family. And I know that there are so many different cultures where at this time of year, when it is the darkest time of year, that there is a celebration lighting the light from within. Do you know what dims our light from within? Asking more than we're supposed to give at this season. What if this wildness is actually telling you you're more in line with the seasons and the energetics of the world than you've ever been? So, how can you appease this wildness? How can you appease the anxiety? First of all, if it's around food and you're feeling really loaded up with the expectations of making dinner for a bunch of people, now your work becomes asking others to do some of the dishes and trusting that they're going to bring good stuff. And if you're really worried about the content of the foods in there, then ask them to bring a list of ingredients, especially if you're celiac or if you have mast cell activation, that you need to have that list of what the ingredients were. If your digestion is not too bad, then why not bring in digestive enzymes to help support that meal at that time? Because the striving for perfection, the striving for doing all of the things is incongruous with what is being asked of us right at this time. At this time, we are supposed to create calm. We are supposed to go inwards. It is traditionally a time of the season where we would have been sharing stories. You'd be telling stories around the fire, or you would be all in the same room where there was that one source of light, but everybody would have been doing their own thing, or playing games together perhaps, gathering together. If you have a family tradition that you love, for us it's going to the movies, well, then we will make time for movies as a family, whatever that can look like. If your tradition is to go skating, pick one night to go skating, not 5. If your tradition is to take a few days and hang out with your children, then take that time to hang out with your children, but make sure that there are some quiet times infused in that rhythm as well. My husband teaches at the Waldorf school here in town, and I love this notion of the in-breath and the out-breath. So one of the pieces that you could bring perhaps in these coming days, if something feels like an out-breath, you're having to do too much out-breath of putting yourself out there, preparing and organizing and meeting and blah, blah, you are responsible for balancing it out. Nobody else is. Sorry. No one's coming to save you except yourself. So what can you bring in of doing that in-breath for yourself? What is that one piece where you'll say, I'm actually going to take 3 days off work. I'm actually going to bank them and use my holiday time I've been saving up, and I'm actually just going to be. And on those days, you turn off the alarm. On those days, you do not wake the children up at a certain hour. On those days, you do not check the clock. You really don't check the clock. And you just take a few days to go with the flow. How can you invite a very slow flow in for yourself in these next days, in these next weeks? How can you create that calm that your body is asking for? In that wildness and the I don't know what to do. I'm just, my worries, my anxieties, my emotions, I don't know. If that's rising, the message might be, hey, there's too much on your plate. I need you to take some off. Yeah, the flip side is going to find joy. Finding joy when times are dark is not easy. Do you know where I promise joy will be? In a quiet moment somewhere. That can be a quiet moment on the toilet, if that's the only quiet spot you can get. It might be, sorry, Luca, I know we were supposed to meet, but I'm turning off the camera now and I'm just going to snuggle with my kiddo. Well, you're only going to get gold stars from me and we'll rebook you in at another time. It's cool. Life happens, and solitude and quiet is supposed to happen at this time of year. And the feeling of the wildness is a reminder that we're out of balance. Not because of anything you've done wrong, and there's no shaming. There is simply an invitation. Where can you bring in simplicity? Does it mean ordering out a few boxes of food, of prepared meals? I think that's a great idea. It's a great place to put your resources. Don't have those resources? Then how can you get together with maybe a spouse, a sweetheart, a friend, a sister, and make a few meals to toss into the freezer? Could you take a meal that's in the fridge and stretch it to something else? So you don't have to make something from scratch every time. If you're worried about the tisk, 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 I'm falling off my diet, then you're not my client, because that's the first thing we let go of. We make things manageable and doable, and that's what I am going to recommend. Become the caretaker of your energy stores and understand that this time of demands and worries and anxieties and emotional upheave that's happening in the world, you can plug into it just as well as you can unplug from it. So figure out in these next few days, how are you going to unplug it? And if somebody gives you grief, you tell them, Luca gave me permission, if that's what you need. Or if somebody's giving you grief somewhere, you say, I came up with a plan to honor the quiet that we all need and the slower pace at this time. So I'm just creating space for us all. And I'm creating it for myself. And then onwards and upwards. The world's not going to fall apart. Not in one night. You can comment below if you want to tell me how you're going to slow down. But I actually don't want to hear how you're going to slow down. I just wish for you to create that space for how you're going to disentangle yourself from the wildness by creating quiet, hibernation, simplifying, taking a digestive enzyme if it's feeling like food is just too booby-trapped. If you need some help with the digestive enzyme, hit me up.